What's up, people? We're back with another episode of Nerd Variety. It's me, Matt, here with Josh and Hayden. And today's episode, we are talking about Comic Con, Atlanta Comic Con 2023, and the highlights. Today, it was a great time. Today, we actually have a special guest, our friend Philip Barlow, who went with us to the con, and he's going to talk about his experience too. So I think I'm going to let Josh start this one off because I have a lot to say about my experience and how great it was. So I think I'll just let you take it away, Josh.
Okay. I had been noticing the guest list. I've been to a convention since MomoCon last year. So I was, like, oh, let's see who's going to show up here. It's supposed to be a smaller con. We all went to Atlanta Comic Con back in 2019. So I expected it to be a chill time. But then they announced a lot of interesting guests. The big ticket ones were all four Hobbits, Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, and what's his name? Dominic. Yeah, Dominic. We're all going to be there. So I was like, okay, we have to go. My roommate was down to go. So was his friend. And I told Matt, Matt remembers our conversation that I called him and I found out that a special guest was going to be showing up. And Matt, how did that conversation go?
I don't know how to describe it other than mad excitement because I didn't want to spend the money to go because I knew I had to.
Yeah.
I absolutely. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I called you, and because when I saw it, I'm like, I was in my car driving back to my apartment, and I was like, guess who's gonna be at a Comic Con?
And I was like, who? And you said
Chris Sabat.
And to which my response was, oh my God, I have to go. I was I don't want to, but I have to. Because I don't want to spend the money because I know how much money I'm willing to spend to meet Chris Sabat. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So it was that kind of sealed all of us kind of going. Some more friends of ours went, and we all went mostly Saturday. I don't think any of us went Friday. No. But yeah, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday like usual. But we all went there Saturday morning, and we had a great time. Phil, what got you interested in going?
Hold on.
I think I posted in our group, and
yes. Say hey to the people, Phil. Just say
hey guys, my name's Philip. My main thing was the main person I want to see, of course, was the four main guys from Lord of the Rings. Was a huge fan of that. I wanted to see Courage the Cowardly Dog. He was awesome, by the way. Very super nice. Got to see the guy who did the voice of, I cannot remember his name. It's Christopher. Is it Chris?
Chris Ryan?
Yeah.
The voice of Jack Skellington?
Yeah, the voice of Jack Skellington. Got to see him. He was cool. He just seemed a little tired. He was still really cool. Who else did I get a chance to see? Oh, I got to see Nolan North, the guy who did the voice for Deadpool.
Superboy. Voice for like everybody. He's two people who does the voices for video games.
Yeah, but literally just about like him and Troy Baker been like done a crap ton of voices.
Yeah,
he was really funny. But I'll talk about what I asked him later on. But I want go ahead, Matt.
No, keep going.
Okay.
Talk about how it was for you.
It was really, really cool. It was very, very overwhelming, but I think that wasn't the only thing. I think there was a lot of new people there, and they were overwhelmed. I think everybody was really overwhelmed, just overwhelmed in general.
Yeah,
because it was just.
I think we had a thing. It's like we're gonna come in that post-COVID thing, and I don't know. I went to Dragon. I think me and Hayden went to Dragon Con in 2021, and Hayden, how was the crowd was pretty big though there, right? Do you remember?
The crowd's always big at Dragon Con. 2021, I think it was pretty light actually. for Dragon Con.
Yeah.
Last year it was back up a good bit, but I only went one day.
Yeah. I hung around that area for that Saturday, just to meet some people that were over there. But it was still pretty crowded. I guess it's a matter of just, this one wasn't as crowded as those, but it was still a lot for people that haven't been to a con in a long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That I will say that was one thing that the only regret that I have is I didn't get to meet Nolan North, but what I did get to do made up for it, because I was on a mission. I had to get one thing out of the way first before I did anything else. But so it made up for it. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of vendors, a lot of neat stuff to look at. You had two different fudge vendors, which we ended up going to one of them, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
You had a lot of concept artists and illustrators there. Actually, we ended up running into the co-creator of Ren and Stimpy. So that's right. Yeah, and I kind of got to meet him and talk to him for a little bit and tell him how Powdered Toast Man always just randomly pops up in my head, stuff with Powdered Toast Man, and I got a piece of artwork from him, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Who was the guy that did the story? I guess not storyboard, but I guess the not the concept art. Yeah, the concept art for Codename Kid Next Door and a bunch of other shows, Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah,
a lot of shows.
Yeah, he was really cool. I loved seeing all his stuff.
And he showed a lot too.
Yeah, and he went into detail and explained it to us as we were looking through his art. And so that was pretty awesome, because that was a trip down memory lane for me, especially seeing all the Kids Next Door and Celebrity Deathmatch stuff. And it was awesome. That was really cool. Also, shout out to the Comic Con staff. Everybody was attentive and real friendly and very, very helpful. That was probably one of my best, for as big as it was probably one of my best con experiences.
Him talking about the staff, actually, it's crazy because I actually met one of the staff that I met my first time going to the Walker Stalker Con, and I saw her and I was like, I think it was the one with Nolan North. I think that's when I saw her, and I was just like, I know you. She's like, were you in a Comic Con 3 years ago? She's like, well, no, I was in the one with The Walking Dead. I was like, that I was here. I was like, I remember. She's like, yeah, I remember you too. I was like, that is crazy. You're doing this. She's like, yes, I do.
They do it for a living.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's crazy. The still there, and that she's still recognized to me, and it just goes to show how much those people actually do care about their job, because it just makes it even more important. But
they're very dedicated to, I guess, making a space for people that want to go to these things and let them have a good time and help everybody get a chance to meet the guests that show up and just facilitate a good environment for everyone.
And I will say the ADA, which was the disabled assistants and stuff, all that was perfectly set up. It was really well done. It was you didn't have to fight to figure out where it was. It was clearly laid out for you, so it was easy access for us, and it was strategically placed to keep people that needed assistance and people who didn't from crashing into each other without being inconvenienced to the other. So that was very well done. Very nice job by the staff.
It's good they did that, because you don't really think about it, but I'm not trying to say people there didn't care, but everybody's walking their own path. I had a few times where I literally watch out because I was having to push Matt around, and I had to watch out because people would just literally walk right in front of me. And the fact they had that, I was like, that's really a godsend.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was, because sometimes just people just don't care.
It was very helpful. I was thoroughly impressed with the way it was.
You get a lot of people that are kind of just there, and they're kind of in that Atlanta, big event. Gotta do my thing. Gotta do what I want to do. But then there's a lot of people that were very gracious and very understanding and very patient. So Saturday, I know I got there a little before y'all did. We got there, we got in line. They let us all in around 10:30, and so me and my friends Trevor and Allie from the Ask Dear Abby podcast, we go straight for Celebrity Row. We go straight for Celebrity Row, and we go looking for the Hobbits. We're trying to find them because we know that their lines are going to go get crazy. And they
I believe the correct term is hobbitses.
Hobbitses. Less.
They are correct.
Yeah.
So we get to the line, and Elijah Wood's line is starting to get to stretch and starting to curve. So the staff is attentive, and they're trying to fold everybody in. Sean Astin hasn't gotten there yet, but it's Billy, Dominic, and Elijah, and so I'm in line because I want Elijah. I have my Sting replica, and I'm wanting him to sign that. And I was so worried that like some of the staff were going to say something, or when I got to the front that they were going to say, "Oh, I know you. Oh, how'd you get that in there? What are you doing with that? That's a weapon. No, you can't. No, get out of here. Get out." I'm like, that was part of my nerves, but we got in line. The line kept moving, and they said it was fine to sign. And he signed it. I showed it to him. I said, "I think you've seen this before," and he said, "Yes, I have seen that before." And we just had a conversation. Was that Matt?
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was going to say it was just a brief exchange. I said, "I'm glad you're here, man." And I said, I was actually asking about the show Wilford that he's in, because I know he gets Lord of the Rings questions all the time, and we're going to talk about the panel that we had. But he signed it, and he was like, "Yeah, I had a good time on that show." This is a really chill guy. They saw me after I left this line because I was just so hyped.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is you were beaming, and when I say beaming, I don't think I've seen you smile that hard since we saw Kevin Conroy, and I was so happy for you, dude. Like I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So you want to go ahead and talk about the panel you want to talk about the panels that we went to?
We can. Me and Matt went to the anime VO panel. Who all was on that panel, Matt?
Which was awesome. You had Stephanie, what's her last name? Nakatomi?
I think it was Sarah.
No. Oh yeah, Sarah. My bad. Not
yeah.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
But the voice of Ash Ketchum was there from the Pokemon series. She was amazing. You had Erica, I can't remember her last name, but she plays Liz in Seven Deadly Sins. She was awesome. Then you had the guy Mike, can't remember his last name. I think it might be Mick McFarland, but he plays Master Roshi in Dragon Ball, and he was dope. And then you had my boy Chris Sabat that was in there, and Chris Sabat, who also, much like Nolan North, plays everybody and everything. So he was there, and it was great. And I'm sitting front row. Me and Josh are sitting front row, and I'm just like, yes, this is dope. Yeah. So I had a great time at their panel listening to them answer questions and all.
Yeah, they talked about the shows they've been in, answer questions from the guest, and they all had a similar vibe that they were very gracious and very happy that they are grateful that they got to play these characters and do the work that they did, because they just love voicing it. And the joke about how they think they're done with a project, but then next thing you know it's getting revived or another season or another series, and they're back and they're back to work.
Yeah. I thought it was funny how Savage said that when he first heard of Team 4-Star, he was like, "Dang, I better keep my health up before one of these guys starts to take my job."
Right.
He's like, "I love it. It's hilarious."
Yeah.
Because
it was really good.
Yeah, it was. And then we went to the Lord of the Rings panel that had all 4 hobbits in it, which was absolutely, that was a blast for me. Because I like Lord of the Rings, don't get me wrong, but I'm not a huge fan like Josh and Phil are.
Yes.
So I had a blast just listening to them talk. I was like, man, I could sit here and listen to them talk for hours.
They really should do a podcast. It would be like, it really would be a good podcast if they just did that just before, to sit down and talk and just talk about stories about, Lord of the Rings or just in general. Oh my God, it'd be so funny.
Yeah, because
actually Phil, Dom and Billy have a podcast.
Okay,
it's called Friendship Onion. But you can tell that they're all they could all talk about the show, about the movies, and talk to each other for hours and hours. And I feel like we as fans would have been fine with it, but it was only 50 minutes. Which, not enough time for everybody to get their questions answered.
It honestly made me want to rewatch the whole series. And I even told you and Phil and our other friends that were there, I was like, I owe y'all a Lord of the Rings and Hobbits rewatch. Because like I said, I liked it, but I wasn't as interested as you guys were. But after listening to that panel, I was like, I definitely owe this rewatch.
Yeah, because people don't understand how much, like, if you actually do the research behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings, you realize there was a lot, like, there was a reason why Lord of the Rings was so good. It wasn't just because there was a lot of money in it. It was because there was a lot of time, love, and like just blood, sweat, and tears really put in it.
Yeah,
I mean, like literally, like with the panel, like he did. All of them basically showed all their basically bruises and cuts and stories.
Talk about injuries,
Exactly. So
Dom with the foot splinter in his foot.
I just had this tiny little platinum splinter.
Well, Vigo like broke his, I think he broke his toe, and they even put it in the movie. The scene where he kicked the helmet, like after the orcs got burnt, the orcs got killed or whatever, when they were trying to find Merry and Pippin.
Oh yeah,
he literally. I'm sorry, go on, Josh.
I was gonna say, we'll have to point that scene out to Matt when he finally rewatch this rewatch there. But all of them had their their scrapes and it was just a lot they had to do to make it look like that world they were living in. Mm-hmm. But they were also very grateful for getting a chance to film it and getting a chance to know each other and bond. I like their choices of favorite movies and scenes and who they would play if they could. You remember who they chose?
I don't. Didn't Sean Astin say he wanted to play Legolas?
I think he said he wanted to play Aragorn.
Yeah,
that's what
it was. I liked when Pippin, when they were talking about what was their favorite quotes, and Pippin was like he was talking about breakfast. He was talking about second breakfast and stuff. I was like, that would be so. That would be such Pippin. That I mean, instead of like some like crazy line, and like he would be like, no, second breakfast, third breakfast. Yeah, that just sounds like him. It was really funny. But, they were really cool, really funny, hilarious. God, so funny.
Yeah.
But go on, Josh.
I was going to say, after that, I think we didn't have much left to do. Oh, I got a photo with Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, Giancarlo. Yeah, that was dope.
That was dope. He was so suave.
He's just so cool, man. He's just so chill. You could just tell by just looking at him, like how cool he was.
He looked like he was. He looked exactly like when you saw him. You saw like the same kind of swagger in the shows that you watch him in. Like it was like no change, no difference.
Yep, exactly.
So that's what I thought was
cool.
Yeah. He was like, I was like, dude, you're awesome. Voice acting, you're killing the game, dude. You're killing the game. He said, thank you, Joshua.
That's cool. That's cool.
Did any of you play Far Cry 6 by chance?
No, but I wanted to. solely because he's in it.
Yeah.
Solely because he is in it, I want to play.
That's why they put him on the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what honestly the reason why I want to play the fourth one is Troy Baker, because he was such a crazy character. Go on, sure.
Yeah, Troy, Phil got to meet Shamik Moore, the voice of Miles Morales. So
Oh, cool.
Yeah, got to talk to him for a sec. He was real cool. I didn't really get a chance to ask him any questions. I kind of feel bad. Like I kind of wish I would have asked him questions, but he seemed real chill. Like a lot of the people there were really, really chill. Like which I think a lot of us were kind of sort of worried about, because the last Comic Con, everybody was so cool. We were just like, God, these guys can't be cool the next go around.
And that's one of the things too about cons, man. You think you meet some really cool people, and it's like you don't know, like, they say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
So you don't know if the people are gonna live up to your expectations or really downplay your expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got to meet Chris Abbott, man, I was my mind and emotions were all over the place because I was not knowing what to expect, but it was
worth it.
Yeah. Let's just say that before we get into it.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do we pick up anything interesting? Like anything we bought? I know I ran into Dominic Glover's booth, because we all have prints from there. Hayden, if you get a chance, check out their site. They have a lot of great art that they have.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
I got a Miles Morales poster from there. I was hoping to get it signed by Shamik, but I was like, I'll get the poster for now, and I'll definitely try to see if I can get him to sign it sometime down the line. But I had to get a poster from him while the booth was there.
Right.
Did y'all do anything, Matt? Phil?
I actually went to a vendor that was selling little Japanese snacks, and what they did was you could buy a bag, and it would be a mystery bag, and you could pick it or they would pick it for you. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure what to get, so I let the girl pick for me, and all of the snacks in it were good. They were amazing. I really like seaweed chips. I will say that. Oh yeah. I also met the one of the cover artists for the new Gargoyles comic that's out. We just happened to be at his table, and so I was looking at his prints of his artwork he had, and he had a really badass drawing of the Gargoyles, and I loved that series. So I saw it and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. And he was like, yeah, that's actually a cover of one of the issues that I did. And I'm like, oh, there's a new comic out? And he's like, yeah, man. So we got to talking about it. And he wanted to know who my favorite gargoyle is. And I'm like, shout out to Brooklyn, because Brooklyn's my favorite. But man, it was pretty cool. So now I got to find that comic book series so I can read it and get the same comic cover. He said he would have had some there, but the shipping ran late, so they wasn't gonna get there in time. And I definitely would have bought one because like I said, I love the Gargoyles franchise and I want them to reboot it so bad.
Yeah.
Keith David said he's down to do it, so let's freaking do it, people. Come on, Disney.
You got Disney Plus. It's prime and ready. Just drop it on there.
Exactly.
Come on.
Greg Weisman said he's ready. Let's go. Why do they keep canceling all Greg Weisman's cool shows?
I don't know.
Haters.
Yep.
Well, that was good.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, hey, what about you? Did you have any good experiences with the Dragon Con, like per people you wanted to see?
When I go to Dragon Con, I don't really care too much about the celebrities, to be honest. Okay. I care more about the experience and the panels and the cosplays and everything.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of those there. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. There was so many people out there dressing up. But go on, I'm sorry.
There's a lot more at Dragon Con.
Yeah, that I believe that.
Yeah. Dragon Con is definitely the that's the big ticket con of the year. Like I think they've narrowed it down to MomoCon, like Atlanta Comic Con / Fandemic, MomoCon, and then Dragon Con is the one above all of them.
That's why I save my money and time for Dragon Con each year.
I would love to go to Dragon Con. It is on my bucket list to do.
I think a lady, that lady that we saw, well, what I saw, I think we were talking to her. Yeah. She said there should be one relatively soon in Dragon Con. I think it was that older lady that we were talking to. Yeah. She said it should be.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Coming up. Yeah.
It's Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day, yeah.
It's usually Labor Day
weekend.
Yeah, it's always Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, if y'all decide to go, Matt, Phil, y'all be prepared to walk around because it's right in the middle of downtown and it's spread across like different hotels. So you have to and it's in a very hilly, like steep, like sidewalk area, like in downtown. So it's gonna be a trek, but it's fun.
I will bring the exercise during Dragon Con.
So bring the all-terrain wheelchair. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Can do.
Okay.
So we saw as far as like we mentioned cosplays. I know we saw a great Lady Thor cosplay. There was also shout out to Travar's standout cosplay. He was there with his crew. Matt got a picture with a really good the Full Metal Alchemist suit of armor.
Al's armor. It was we got it. And it was so cool because they just had it laying out in the hall, and it just had a sign that said "Go take it." It said "Take a picture with me." So like we just did. We were like, "Cool, let's do it." Because it's Al. Why not?
Yeah, and then we saw that Star Wars troop near the end, as well as those the mutant ladies.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into their costume for sure, man. It was amazing. Though they were amazing. I wish we could have got pictures with them.
It was also like a dragon. The guy dressed up in like a dragon outfit.
Yeah,
I think he was supposed to. I mean, it looked really good. Like it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. I wish I could have look at that costume cosplay contest to see all of them, but that was what we just kind of missed out on. Another fun thing that I did was that they had a Pokemon Go tournament that was fun, and I entered. There's only like 5 people in the tournament, and I beat 2 people, but I lost in my third match. And then the last person fought the gym. That person fought the gym leader and got a badge. So I thought that was a fun experience. I wish it had been a little bigger. But they had a good spot for game stuff.
Yeah, they had a whole game room.
Yeah, like a big one too. It was huge.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for next time.
But
one of the big highlights, Matt, I know, like me, you, and Phil had once we linked up, we tried to get in Chris Sabat's line a couple of times Saturday, and it kept getting like backed up.
3 freaking times we tried.
Yeah.
When we first got there, it was like I knew I wanted to go ahead and get it out the way to let y'all go ahead and do whatever y'all wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 freaking times we tried on Saturday. So the first time, it was immediately when we got there. Josh was in line with Elijah Wood, so we decided to wait on him. So he gets done with Elijah. He grabs me from Phil, and we make a beeline for Chris Sabat's line. And we stand there for a good, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 minutes.
I would say about 30 or so, because we waited for him to show up, and then we were like, we're gonna get here, and he's only gonna be here for a couple minutes before his panel starts. So
yeah. So we were there for a good 30 minutes, and like he said, we wanted to go to his panel, so we got out of line to go to his panel. We go to his panel. It was a blast. We come back. We're like, do we want to try again? We're like, yeah. So we get in his line, and they take a break after every panel. So he's in the panel. He's taking a break, so everybody's just standing there, and I'm like, okay, screw it, we'll try again later. before we leave for the day, we decide to get in one more time. So we get in, and the line is actually kind of moving, but it's moving real slow. And so we finally get to a point where we think we're moving a little bit, and the line staff comes and they're like, we're cutting the line off before it got to us. So I was like, well, screw it. We'll do it tomorrow. Josh didn't go the second day, but me and Phil did. So the first thing we do is make a beeline to Chris Sabbath's line. We take off, and we see that his line is kind of short. So we like put it in the high gear. We get there. And so we're waiting. We're in line. The line's moving. We see him. He's up there in the on the top floor getting coffee. So he's like waving at us and like flexing and all that. So we all start cheering. He finally gets down. The line gets moving. And man, I gotta say, of all the cons we've been to, that was the best experience I've had, because I got to tell him exactly how much all the characters he's done has meant to me. And he really, really listened. You could tell he was interested, and you could tell he was taking it in. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself meant a lot to me. And he signed what I wanted to get signed, that I paid for, and took a picture with me. Mm-hmm. And then so we were talking about everything, and I told him how, how much I related to Vegeta because of his story, and how he's always playing catch up, and how he's always second best, but then he realizes he's got to find his own path and become his own man. He can find his own power and still be great. And I mentioned to him how much I relate to that. And I mentioned, how I got into fighting and all because part of Dragon Ball Z, and how it helped instill in me what my parents were trying to teach me, that you can do whatever you want through hard work. Because Dragon Ball was the first show that did that for me. And man, let's just say he went above and beyond. And he really listened, and he, like I said, he took it all in, and he was like, man, he's like, thank you for your story. He's like, man, people like you. And he's like, and your story, man, he's like, sometimes I think my job is hard and I have it hard. He's like, but I realize my job is easy. And thank you for reminding me how much I love it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, no, thank you. That was and it took a good 15, maybe 20 minutes.
Even you were kind of like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hold up your knees.
He's like, man, it's no problem at all. And Josh, wait till you see what I got from you, man. Like I said, he went, I won't go into detail, but he went above and beyond. And then I actually told him, about my fight nickname and where I got it from, how I took it from being inspired by the Saiyans and being inspired from my family being both military. And he took that in and was like, those are very good inspirations. And he's like, I can understand why. And I actually was able to gift him one of my Saiyan Soul bracelets from my YouTube series that I made. And he was like, man, I would love this. He was like, thank you. And he put it on. He's definitely he was like, I'm going to check it out. And man, the last thing he said was like, fight hard, man. I'll be thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, bro, I'm going to go run through a freaking wall. It was beyond, like I said, it was beyond everything. It was beyond everything I expected. Because like I said, your emotions are all over the place because you don't know what to expect from these people. Because he even said, he's like, man, I'm an ordinary man, just living this crazy life, man. And I was like, man, you really don't know what it means. I told him how much it meant. And it was amazing. There's not enough words for me to describe it, but I just want to say thank you, Chris, for giving me that amazing experience. It was all that I asked for and more.
Yeah, man, that's why we go. That's why we that's definitely one of the experiences we want to go to have when we go to conventions.
Right.
That's awesome. Almost out of time here. Phil, any highlights? Any last minute highlights, moments from convention?
Okay, little secret. Getting a chance to meet Nolan North, super nice guy. Asked him two key questions that I think Matt wanted to know. So I asked him just to kind of, well, I kind of want to know too. One of the questions was, is there going to be a Deadpool 2 game? And two, is there going to continue on with Young Justice? Okay, what he basically said was, he said, Young Justice, he's like, we're trying. It possibly, but you know how it is sometimes. Deadpool 2, it's in the works. It's in the works, and there could be a potential chance that Ryan Reynolds is doing a voice, possibly, could be.
Nice.
He's like the wheel rolling. We just have to make sure it's going down and down, like a downward slope, basically. That way it can,
Right.
and so which is great news. And Nolan was really funny. He's a really funny guy. And Courage the Cowardly Dog, he was super nice. Super nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
About it.
Cool.
Josh, any last minute highlights from you?
I just wish I could have met more of the hobbits, and wish I could have just met a few more people there. But it was a great time. Yeah, definitely glad we all went and got to go see each other there. But yeah, that was our convention experience. If you listen to this and you went, let us know your thoughts and tell us any stories.
Yeah, we want to hear all stories.
Absolutely. But yeah, thanks for listening. Until next time, nerd out.
Nerd out.
Yeah.
Woo!